Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled, Is there a connection between the Israeli flags and smartphones? So it sounds like a funny question. Israeli flag, I proudly display one on my wall. Put up a few years ago, Yom Ha'atzmaut, and just can't take it down. Baruch Hashem. It's too beautiful. There's a connection between the Israeli flag and all that it represents. Smartphones, modernity, computers, unfiltered computers. So the answer is not necessarily, but I think practically yes. And this goes back to a speech by Rav Soloveitchik many decades ago. The Rav said, based on the Parsha, Vayera, he said that why did Avram keep the lads? He told the two lads to wait while Yitzhak and I go up the mountain. He said that wasn't for them to be at Akedas Yitzhak. That was not their place. So yes, why did he come in the first place? So this is a drush he gave in the 60s of the Mizrahi Conference. He said, why did he take them? Because it was a treacherous road. There were enemies along the way. He couldn't do it on his own. He needed their help. And he says that represents our struggle for Medinat Yisrael. We need to work together, religious Jews and non-religious Jews. We need to work together to build up the army, the government, the hospitals, the agriculture, the economy, you name it. The military, obviously. We need to work together, but there's going to be a fork in the road. Very often there's going to be a fork in the road. And this was typified by Yitzchak and Avram telling the two lads, wait over here. Right now, we worked on the trip together, there's a fork in the road. And we can imagine in the army, there's going to be a fork in the road. No, we don't just drive to the Makolet on Shabbos. We have to have an Eruv in our base. And we're going to have to work out of these. And wait a second, Kolisha, a woman singing. There's going to be challenges. Halachic challenges. We're going to work together to defend ourselves against all the enemies around us. And there's no shortage of enemies around us. And we're going to work together to have the most incredible missiles, offensive and defensive and all that stuff. There's going to be a fork in the road. And the agriculture is going to be Hetamachir, Shmita, Truma Maser. Hospitals, autopsies, no autopsies, Shabbos, this, that, writing, signing in. Every place we go, we're going to work together, we're going to hit the fork. So once you have a philosophy of working together, as opposed to just circling the wagons and going into a little cocoon, so once that approach of Rav Soloveitchik, the Hesder world, and so many others in the Tilami world is working together with the fork, so then it gets very treacherous because we work together with the outside world, with fellow Jews who may not be religious, more traditional, not observant at all. And then there's so much more exposure to other people with other approaches in life. And it's very hard to keep an eye on how far are we working together, walking together, and when is the fork in the road. So once you have the exposure, that means the world has computers. Most of the world doesn't have filters. And there's smartphones. That's part of the world that we're exposed to. And at what point do you say, yes, I can have exposure, but here's the fork in the road. Smartphone only with an internet, only with a filter. Internet only with a filter. Or do I need it at home at all? And working it through. So what should be the answer in every single case? I'm not going to get into that right now. But the idea that we should be always looking for the fork and seeing, Ad Khan, up to here, I'm going on the mountain on my own now with Yitzhak, that should always be in our minds. And if we get too used to just walking together with all of our brothers, and so many holy brothers, even people who don't know that much about halacha, all the people that have built up this country, it's incredible what's gone on here for all these years and decades. But we have to be cognizant, there's risk. We have a lot of exposure. And there's always a point in each topic where we say, okay, I've arrived at the fork. I'm going on the mountain by myself now. We have to be so careful. Otherwise, we sort of could be just sucked in to culture and ideas that we don't really subscribe to. But they sort of just happen because we were walking without stopping at the fork. Shalom.